This is Jaleisha J. What's good? You know I care for you. You know I'm grateful for you. You know that I treasure you. So thank you for being here. If you see the title, this was a request. A comment asked me to share my story about my one night stand that I kind of briefly discussed on my alopecia video and what I learned from it and what happened. I will share, honey. I am a storyteller. I would love to share my one night stand story. It was my first and last one night stand at 34. I think it was in 2023, so 2 years ago. So we're gonna get into it. Let's dive into it. This is no hose barred, okay? First of all, in 2023, as I said in my alopecia video, I was bald. I had shaved my head for the first time because my hair was thinning out and you could see it. So I shaved my head for the first time and I was proudly wearing my bald head. I still have alopecia, but I didn't shave today, so that's why I got this on. But in 2023, I was bald and I was wearing it out proudly. And I am not a person that is solely focused on my looks. I actually don't like that I get attention for how I look. But when you're bald, you get even more attention. People stare at you. And the only men that were approaching me at this time were also bald. And I felt something like kind of dig at my self esteem a little bit because I was like, why only bald men are talking to me? And it's very true. I believe that the way you present yourself, you attract a certain type of man. And I've had men come to me because I was wearing my sew-ins. Men come to me because when I was wearing my natural hair, and a different type of man that comes to me when I'm bald. So I was not feeling my most confident self, but I was trying to ease into my confidence. And prior to this, I had already been celibate for 2 years because I had uh, wanted to be celibate out of fear because I had got my heart broken in 2021. And I thought, you know what? I don't need no more men in my life because the last experience I had fell in love with someone and it was not reciprocated. It was with someone that was emotionally unavailable. And I was a coach, I was a writer, and this person was not meeting me emotionally, mentally, and on other levels. He was not giving me what I needed and what I deserved. And I kind of was compromising my worth and it was draining my energy. We were very, very sexually tied and it was draining the life out of me where I could not actually prosper with my creativity. I was struggling, whereas he was kind of siphoning my energy and he was kind of thriving in his creativity. And so that whole experience brought me down so low that I was afraid to get involved with a man again because I have a high sex drive. And normally if I want to get involved with someone, it starts with I want to do them. I'm gonna keep it real. That's normally how I start. But I knew that has not served me well. That has not served me well in my 20s. It did not serve me well in the earliness of my 30s. And so I was like, I can't do this no more. I cannot. I can't keep making the same mistake. That's insanity. So I decided to be celibate. So in 2023, my friend came to visit from Houston in May of 2023. She came to visit and it was her birthday. I wanted to show her a good time. And so we went partying every day. We went to brunches. The last day that she was actually here, I remember it was on a Sunday in May. Me, her, and another friend of mine and another friend, we all went to brunch and it was endless mimosas. And I'm not a drinker. And I remember my friend who came to visit from out of town and one of the other women, they were fresh out of divorces. And so they had been traumatized in their relationships. They had been with narcissists. They had been abused in their relationships. And so they were like, they don't want to get in another committed relationship. They want to do them, F them, whatever, whatever. Whereas me and my other friend, we had never been in a relationship. We've never been committed to. And we deeply want a committed relationship, a healthy partner. And we believe in commitment. We do believe in marriage, even though we are very non-traditional. We do believe in the traditional marriage. And we were just like, we want to save ourselves for the right person. Me and her had both been celibate around the same time. And the other two women were like, y'all crazy. Y'all need to be out here getting it. Now, at this point, I had been drinking. Okay, I at the brunch, I had about 4 mimosas, and I don't drink. Okay, and then we wanted to continue the party. We wanted to go out to a Sunday night spot, grown spot. We went out to the Sunday night spot. I was drunk by this point, okay, and I had kept drinking while I was there. Okay, and I'm in my bald head. I'm feeling myself. Okay, I'm feeling myself. And I felt it in my energy that if I wanted to talk to a man tonight, I'm going to talk to a man. And this is the drink, the liquid courage talking to me. And in walks this 6'5" God statue of a man, a black man. Okay, a black muscular, just long locks, just fine, just fine. Like this man was he. Now women say they call women stacked. He was stacked from the top of his head to the bottom of this man was fine. He looked like he could be a model. He could play football. He was fine. I looked at him. I saw him. I locked eyes with him. In my mind, I said, "Well, I want that." Now I'm drunk. I said, "Well, I want that. I want to climb that tree." And that's why I said, "I know I'm in trouble when I want to do somebody." So that's immediately the thought that came in my head. I want to climb the tree. I want to climb the tree. Now I locked eyes with this man, and he immediately came and stood next to me. This was a problem because I was like, this is too much. Why is the universe doing this to me? So he came and stood next to me. And throughout the night, I'm drinking. I'm dancing. I'm twerking with my friends. We having a good old time. And this man starts coming behind me. He starts dancing with me and grinding on me. He rubbed my bald head. This is a fine man, y'all. Like I said, I was newly shaved head. I was feeling some type of way. And I'm drunk, and this fine specimen of a man, I didn't know what to do with myself, and he wasn't bald. And so my self-esteem was feeling some type of way. I cannot deny that. so, and so he was dancing on me. He bought me drinks. He bought me my friends drinks. He was younger than me. I was 34 at the time. He was like 28. He was about to be 29. And he was from Houston. I live in Dallas. And he was scrumptious. Now the thing is, other women thought he was scrumptious too. I saw him moving around in different places with other women, and I was like, no, I want that. That's going to be mine tonight. I made that decision in my head. That's mine. Now I had never done this before. I have never, like, I know if I want something I go after, but I had never thought I'm gonna have a one night stand. But that night, and mind you, that day I kept saying I'm gonna be celibate, but I was drunk. And I just wanted to try. I thought maybe let me just see, because I need to feel this. I need to feel this. And so he was flirting with other women, but he also still was flirting with me. And this went on for hours. And then finally, right before we were about to leave, I cannot believe I did this, but I walked up to him and I said, I need your number. I want you tonight. And we need to make that happen immediately. You know what this man did? He gave me his number. He took my number. He gave me his number. And he said, let's do it. And I said, okay, let's do it then. So we left and he started calling me immediately. And it was a mess because, one, if you have not been watching my videos, my mother was living with me. And I don't bring men to my house. So he wanted to come over and I could not have him come over. He wanted to come over. I could not have him come over. Then he was with his friends and he was visiting from a hotel and he couldn't have me come. So I had to meet up with him. And this is how I knew I was sobering up, because we have to do something in the car. In my car. This is my car. I'm 5'4", really 5'3". Okay, I'm a thick one. I have thick thighs, thick hips. But this man is 6'5". He's humongous. He's humongous. We are in the back seat here, and I quickly became sober. It was very uncomfortable. It was very, very uncomfortable. Heads getting knocked, elbows getting knocked. Uncomfortable. And then it was, sometimes you interact with somebody the first time, and it's awkward. But it was doubly awkward. It was like there was no chemistry. It was almost like, because the last person I had been with, it had been the best experience of my life, like the best. And I have a lot of trauma sexually because I was abused as a child, and I disassociated. I normally disassociate in sex. It's normally hard for me to be present in the moment. and actually be able to receive and to give, I normally disassociate. And also I crave more than just casualness. But my last experience, he met me sexually, and it was very deep and intense and powerful. And so when I had the best experience of my life that I've never had ever in my 31 years, it's hard to, I didn't want to compare, but it's hard to then just go back to sloppy, casual. It's nothing. There's no connection, no emotional, no mental, because I am a sapio and I am a demisexual, so I do crave mental, emotional connection. Even though my, even though down there she wants to just go after things because they look good. That experience in itself was horrible. It was horrible. It was so bad. I remember it was so bad that he was like, "Look, you seem like you tired." Oh, he was like, "Let's just call it." He was like, "You seem tired," and I knew by the experience that we were having that I probably would never talk to him again because it was horrible. It was bad. It was like I wanted connection. I want depth. I want closeness. But how can you have closeness with someone you don't even know? You don't know this person. And this person's just wanting to get theirs. And then I started finding myself stuck in my head. I could not be in the moment. And so we tried multiple times. And he kept saying, "You're tired." And I said, "Okay, let's call it." So it was not a good experience. I went back home and told my girlfriend a fib. That girl was, it was everything, but it wasn't. What I will say is that something I learned was that he was very giving immediately. I was not used to that. He was very giving, very giving. Like he wanted to give to me. He wanted to pleasure me. He wanted to put me up there, which was a nice experience. But everything else was a mess. But that in itself was very, very nice. I wasn't expecting that from a young man in his 20s or late 20s, but he wanted to put me on a pedestal and he wanted to adore me. And that was nice. And the next day I texted him and thanked him for the experience. Then and he said thank you. I never heard from him again. Never heard from him again. And I don't expect to. Well, obviously not. It's 2 years later. But initially I had shame about this because I was like, girl, you had been celibate for 2 years. You had said you didn't want to deal with men. You had said you didn't want to just rush into anything. And look, you got drunk and you gave up your goods again. And it wasn't even good. It wasn't even good. It wasn't even a good experience. Now you got to start all over again. And so I had a lot of shame. But then I thought, I'm so grateful for the experience. This is hindsight because I was feeling really insecure about my alopecia. I was feeling really down about it. I didn't feel confident and with my bald head. And this guy, this random guy, this stranger who I thought was creme de la creme, who I thought was just gorgeous, who I thought was baby finer than anything, like bread and butter, this man wanted me. This man and not just wanted me, but even when we were in the act, he adored my body. He worshiped my body. He made me feel really, really just wanted and desirable. And that was necessary for me. That was a gift that he gave me. That was like something I needed because I was like, I don't want to just be attracting bald headed men, which is nothing wrong with that. But it kind of broke this thought or this negative programming in my mind that I'm not going to be worthy of men that I actually desire, that I actually want, that I actually physically want to be around. And the one time I gave into that, it was reciprocated at the 10th degree. It just was not a good experience. And what the experience taught me was that I still want the depthness, I still want the emotional connection, the spiritual connection, the mental connection. I want all of those things, the physical connection. I have to have all those things. But I also have to have the attraction. I have to have someone that truly loves me, that wants to rub on my bald head, that can't get enough of me, just cannot get enough of me. But it has to be depthness there. I can't do casual. And that experience gave me that opportunity to heal something within myself, the way I saw myself in my bald head. But it also restored something of me realizing, yeah, you can wait. You can wait. And you are worthy of waiting. And you're worthy of waiting to give this to somebody that actually wants to commit to you and be present with you and be in this with you. Not a short time, not a temporary time, not a casual time, but a long time. A long, long time. So it was a good experience. I can look back and smile on it. I can laugh about it. But the time that was spent in this car, it was a mess, but he gave me a gift, so I'm really really grateful for that. And so that was the story of my first and only one night stand. If you guys have experienced a one night stand, let me know in the comments. How did it go? What are your thoughts about casual? And just for the record, I don't have a problem with people having casual intercourse. Do you be safe, be treasured, be adored, be loved? Do you? I personally cannot do that. I've always been that person who can't do it, but I thought I could fake it before. But now it's like, you know your worth, you know your value, you know who you are. You don't compromise that. So I won't compromise it. It is what it is. I just won't. And so she has led so many times and got me in a lot of trouble. And I appreciate her. I love her, but I have put her to sleep. And next time we get involved with anybody, if we get involved with anybody, she's not leading the way anymore. It's my heart and it's my discernment, my intuition. She gonna have to shut up and she gonna have to be on pause. We put her on pause. She's in a cage. She's locked away for a while. Okay, she's not leading anything. I will not be drinking alcohol. I won't be doing nothing when I'm dating. I won't do it because I just know that I'm worthy of more and I don't want to compromise that in any way. And things happen, people slip up, but I just know what I've done repeatedly has not worked for me, so I need to do something different. But that's all I got. I hope this was answer to your question about my experience, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace out.